as we start to talk about our triple threat, pivot foot, jab foot, all of that, we really want to dive into the details and the techniques needed, all the different components, so we can really practice and execute these things at a high level. So before we get into anything else, let's really define pivot foot, what it is, what we can do with it, how to establish it, all of that. So a pivot foot is defined as a foot that doesn't move, it stays in the same place, but can rotate in place as we pivot around in a circle. So this foot right here that's not moving, that's my pivot foot. This foot here that's stepping, we call that one the jab foot. So pivot foot doesn't move, jab foot does move. Now, how do we know which foot is which? Well, it depends. Generally speaking, a pivot foot is created on the catch by the first foot to touch the ground or to step when you catch the ball. 9 times out of 10, that's how you're going to figure out and know which one is your pivot foot. So as you catch the ball, you step into the catch. That's now my pivot foot, which means this one, that's now my jab foot. So my jab foot can make these pivot steps as I pivot in place. Okay, I'm going to do a full circle here. This foot's pivoting. That foot's taking those pivot steps. I come right back to my start position. So that's how we establish a pivot foot most of the time. But what if I hop into the catch and I land on both feet at the same time? How do I know which one's my pivot foot? Well, I simply pick one of them up. Whichever one I want to make my jab foot, that's the foot I pick up, which means the foot that stayed on the ground, that's the pivot foot. So now I can take this jab foot and I can use it to make jab steps. I can use it to make pivot steps. As long as this foot doesn't move, but simply rotates in the same place, I'm good to go. So there's your pivot foot, there's your jab foot, and now you can begin to start to work on some of the other details of your triple threat technique.